All right, everybody. Finally, the podcast is back in 2026. And who better to kick it off this year with than two of the best guests we've had, two of my favorite students of all times, two decent golfers, but even better humans. We've got Teddy Tetak in the house off of a DP World Tour season.
What up?
We've got Aaron Jarvis in the house preparing to go and defend his 2022 Latin American Championship. So let's get into it, boys.
Lovely.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. But this podcast is not about me. It's really about you guys. Hopefully you can add some value to the listeners. I think there's like 3 of them. But the people that listen to this podcast want to know how you guys are here, what you did. My goal from this will be that you guys talk about your journey, whether that's with or without talking about your development as players, but your development as humans. If we went back in time to when you guys I had the privilege of first meeting both of you, do you think we'd be sitting here knowing that you played in 2 major championships, you had your DP World Tour card in your first attempt of trying to make it as a pro, and here we are? Talk us through how we got here. That's where I want this podcast to go. So, Teddy takes a little bit longer on the golf course. Probably also going to take a little bit longer to prepare this time. You kind of have no routine, sometimes straight in. So let's go with you, Aaron. The 15-year-old version of Aaron Jarvis.
Kind of all over the place. I never thought we'd get here. But I think coming up to the academy kind of started everything. You know, working with you straight into it. I was raw, right? No coaching really on the island growing up. And then swing was all over the place. Game was all over the place. Just hit it and find it. Then as you train and go on and play as many tournaments as you can, you kind of just learn more about yourself and where your game's at. And then, you know, you're growing through stages of trying to, like, mature and as a person as well. I think the academy did a good job of that as well. And then went through college, and now here we're at. So
it's pretty crazy. And we'll talk about the whole journey. But, yeah, I do think when you look at you at 15, right, maybe thought about being a footballer as a young kid or even a surfer growing up on the island to then being the first ever from your country to play in major championships is pretty amazing. And then now one of your fellow countrymen also won the Latin American Championship, went on to play in those majors. So it's remarkable. And obviously you paved the way. And Teddy, you're the first ever Slovakian to get a DP World Tour card. So
technically it's false. You got Rory Sabatini.
Well, I think Rory
with 4 different nationalities.
Yeah, I think Rory was whoever Rory Sabatini wants to be. And if Rory, you're tuning in, bring back the cowboy hat and maybe claim South Africa as your home country. But what about you? 15-year-old version of Teddy thinks he's going to be the first Slovakian.
Well, I think like the biggest thing for me was when I first started working with you in 2015 was that I finally wasn't getting bored on the golf course during practice. It's I just hated just being on the range or just doing pointless putting things or chipping things. So like the tasks you gave me on the course when I was younger kind of like made it more fun for me. And like I felt like I wasn't doing anything, but I was actually doing something. So it just made it more golf is a boring game at the end of the day. So it just made it more fun for me. And I think that's what the biggest difference was. When I was 15, I kind of like, I was getting more work done, but I was having more fun doing it. And just over time, like, as I got older, you got to like hone in on some certain aspects of the game, which we did. But at the end of the day, we still kept it light and fun the whole time and just enjoyed.
Yeah, well, as the guy that has the privilege of being your coach, pretty proud of the two of you. But I think the coolest thing about being a coach is each player is different. Even this morning when we were hitting balls on the range, right? What Teddy's trying to work on, we're trying to take away a little bit from your swing, and what we're trying to add into Aaron's. You know, it's so I think that's the fun part for me is seeing how you guys do that. But for those junior golfers coming up or other professionals trying to take their career to the next level, do you guys see it as one skill or do you see it as multiple skills that have allowed you to be as good as you are?
You got to have a certain baseline in all aspects of the game, but at the end of the day, there's got to be one part of your game that's a little better than most if you want to, I could say, like, do something in the game of golf, like win events or like let the world know you're here.
Yeah.
Like you can't just be average and everything. You got to be better at some aspect of the
Something
game.
has to be very good, right?
Yeah, and I think I'll let you answer in a second, Aaron, but I think we saw that with you, Teddy, right? Like this year on the DP World Tour, you're inside top 30 in most categories, right? Well, hopefully in 2026, we move that needle in putting, but you were able to be not only where you are, but you're an elite ball striker, right? When we look at that differentiator between you and your peers, certainly it is your iron play, right?
Yeah. Well, I think like the biggest issue for me this year was that I think I realized in my last event was it France, that when you look down the range on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you got, let's say 80, 90 guys on the range. 20 of them are hitting it really good. 30 of them are like 50-50. And then you got the other guys like, God damn, I suck at golf.
Yeah.
Like there's guys out there who just like, you could see it that they're just struggling trying to find it. Like not everybody hits it perfect every time. That's one thing I realized. Like you just got to own your golf ball and play it. Like you don't have to flush it out of center to phase, hit it to 10 feet or closer every time. Like you can also, I mean, you can score well or just make a lot of pars and make one putt and one chip in, shoot 2-3 under. That's never going to hurt you. But what's going to hurt you is just big numbers.
Yeah. So what's your superpower, Aaron? What allowed you to be the first ever Caymanian to play in a major championship and allowed you to be the player you are today?
I think I just scored well and putted well for me, for sure. Like when I drive it well and I putt well, I play some pretty good golf.
For sure.
Going off Teddy, I mean, everything has to be pretty good, but you got to be very good at something. And then I also think you don't have to do everything special. Like everyone hits the ball pretty good. Once you get to a certain stage of golf, everyone hits it good. 100%. And then it's like you see the pros, they play such boring golf.
Yeah.
They just hit it to 20 feet and then they two-putter make it and then they get out of there. They par the par threes. Par fives are always giving themselves good birdie looks. But like
100%.
they'll go out there, make maybe one bogey, maybe no bogeys, shoot 2-3 under. Like Teddy said, over 4 days, you're up there every week.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to do anything. I know on Corn Ferry and stuff like that, and DP and all these hotel planner, whatever, you got to shoot 8 under, like 6 to 8 under a round. But it's also just like doing the simple stuff every single day.
Yeah, I think that's so. What is that, right? Because you guys are both right. Bogey avoidance is definitely more important than birdies, right? I think both of you have the ability to make a ton of birdies, right? In both your careers that I've had the privilege of knowing you've had, both of you have had rounds where you've made 8 or 9 birdies in a round of golf.
Yeah.
You both didn't shoot 8 or 9 under in that round, but now as you're maturing as golfers, making less mistakes, or what is it about that secret sauce to scoring that isn't about making birdies, but
For me, I think like if you look at 18 holes of golf, there's always going to be like 2 or 3 tee shots where you're like, I don't like the way it looks. You might get the wrong wind. And like in those moments, I think what I saw with a bunch of guys, they all have one shot. Like it doesn't have to be 300 yards. It can be 220, but it's in a 30-yard zone. And there's not many fairways are less than 30 yards wide. Let's be honest.
Right.
So like those holes, avoid the big mistakes, hit your shot. But then at the same time, like there's on most scoring holes, guys are being aggressive.
yeah.
Like you got 230 into a par 5, you're not trying to hit 10 foot, you're just trying to get it somewhere up there, easy chip or just 2-putt and go away with a birdie. So I play a different style of game. I'm very conservative, I'd say. I don't hit many drivers. I hit a lot of irons, a lot of 3-woods off tees, but that's just me. That's also because I'm a pretty damn good ball striker. I rather have honestly a 7-iron than a wedge at some points.
Yeah. Well, your proximity with a 7-iron is world class for sure. What do you think, Aaron, to bogey avoidance? Is it about being, as Teddy says, he plays conservative to smart targets? What do you do to have those bogey avoidances?
I think for me, I might have like one terrible shot around, and that's just because I wasn't comfortable with the shot, or it could be, like Teddy said, the hole just doesn't suit your eye, and you got to find a way to just get it in play, and that's what the pros do.
For sure.
So that's one thing I need to work on, is having that just like, all right, this is my go-to shot, here it is. But it's having the discipline to maybe not hit driver, or just find a way to get the ball in the fairway.
Yep.
And then hit it on the green, or just
Build
not short side. You can't short side yourself. I mean, that's one of the biggest things.
Building off that, I wouldn't say it's like discipline, but it's discipline and not getting carried away. If some guys on a drivable par 4 are hitting driver, you don't want to hit driver because you're not comfortable with it. You can hit the 4-iron and trust your wedge game to make a birdie.
Yeah,
I think sort of discipline.
I think that's
Knowing
the
your
cool
game.
thing about.
Yeah, play your game.
Yeah, you guys have both learned that. I think that was the thing that stood out the most to me for you in 2022, Aaron, was it didn't matter if it was Tiger Woods or John Rahm or Bryson DeChambeau. You just walked down the fairway like you were still Aaron Jarvis, and you still did your thing.
Right.
And that's why I think your future in this game of golf is very bright, because you're not paying attention to others. You're leaning into what makes you really good.
Yeah.
And that's the fun thing. And Teddy, I think you learned that this year, right? I think you learned that sometimes you can over practice. Sometimes you can deviate from that success formula.
100%.
But seeing you this morning while you two guys were practicing, and you explaining to Aaron about how important the physio is and how important the gym is, I'd like to build on that a little bit, because you just took a full season on the DP World Tour, and we just had an off season, and you're hitting it better than you've ever hit it.
Yeah, and I haven't touched a club since 13th of November, and it's January 6th now.
That's
So let's talk about that. How, why? Like, yes, we all know you're a very good ball striker, but how do you not touch a club for that long and come out and put on a clinic this morning?
I mean, the way I look at it, like the way I feel if I do golf-specific exercises in the gym or just strength-wise, the golf swing motion is never going to go away. It's never going to go away. It's going to get more stable. It's going to get like more balanced. Maybe the rhythm might be out a couple times, but I mean, that's just a simple 2-hour range session, getting the rhythm back in, and you're done with it. So definitely over like the last 2-3 years, I realized not working out for, you could say, aesthetics, but working out to be injury-free, like lower back, hips, knee, wrist, whatever you want to call it, is just crazy important.
Yeah, and I think your commitment to that, right? And I think this is the start of the season, so hopefully we can chat about some goals, because the last time, Teddy, you and I did a podcast,
2 years
you
ago?
were playing on Pro Golf Tour,
Yep.
and you put out there, this is my goal. My goal is to get a Challenge Tour card.
Yeah.
And that fall, you skipped the Challenge Tour card.
Yeah.
You got a full DP card.
I wouldn't call it full, but playing rights on the DP World Tour.
We could have a whole separate podcast about
100%.
what a full tour card looks like these days, and what it means to the guys that aren't inside the top 50 in the world. But I think you setting that goal was awesome. And one of the things I remember about that podcast, and I'm not sure if Casey's had enough Mountain Dew and he can cut it in here, but maybe he can cut in where you set those goals and where you came through on them, because I think that's awesome. But what about for you guys? What's the goal in 2026? Obviously pretty easy for you, Aaron. We got a big tournament coming up, and it'll be fun to run it back, but I'll turn it over to you guys for some goals. Obviously, you guys know me, and we've done this enough. I don't just want outcome goals. I would love to know the how, right? So, yes, maybe Teddy, your goal is to win, but how? And then maybe your goal is to, I don't know, who am I to tell the goals? So I'll turn it over to you guys. Let's go maybe back and forth so people can learn.
So obviously, winning, getting my card through Hotel Planner for DP for next year is number one goal. But I think what I realized the last couple years, last year, what my mental coach is, after college, I'll be honest, I didn't think I'd ever have a diary, write a diary, read a book. And now my crazy self is on the fourth diary since the beginning of last year. And just writing anything. So stuff like that, and actually being honest. If you got a couple people where it's all right to just let it loose. We're all going through something. It's not easy at times to play professional golf. Sometimes you walk off the course and you feel like you're the number one player in the world, and next day you're like, why didn't you get a job at Walmart? Literally. Yeah. So it's being consistent with that and actually trusting the process and the people that are around me, and just not get carried away, because the win can come the last event of the season, or the win can come in the first event. You never know when it's going to come. Might not come. You just might be consistent and get your card that way too. Yeah.
Well, that 15-year-old version of Teddy definitely wasn't journaling, and definitely wasn't willing to be authentic and vulnerable like that. So that growth is awesome. What about for you, Aaron?
think the hardest thing, I mean, everyone's so good now, right? But I think the hardest thing is just getting status somewhere to play.
Is that the goal in 2026 to get status?
Yeah. Either PJ Americas, Corn Ferry Q School in the fall, a couple Mondays and all that throughout the summer. But I'm grateful enough to have the support to do it.
Yeah.
But it's obviously taking that one step at a time, kind of being disciplined with myself and working on the same stuff and having that base and not wandering off that base, like getting into my own thoughts, because that's like what a lot of golfers do, right?
Yeah.
But it's, just trying to get some status to play and have as much fun as possible. It's like, if I have the opportunity to do this, why not enjoy it? And
I think that's let's talk about that, because you two guys are two of the most fun people to hang out with. Seeing the laughs this morning and the jokes and the vibes in practice is what it's about. And I think a lot of people have this vision of what it means to be a professional golfer, and that looks like it's hitting thousands of golf balls, doing a million drills, and looking like a robot. And you two guys are very different, right? So let's talk about why are you guys so fun to practice with, and why are you guys the way you are in practice?
Because, I mean, there's obviously days where you have to be, like, put the phone off, like, hone in on your craft. But, I mean, I just get bored if I did that every day. I couldn't do it. Like, it just has to be fun. Yeah. And if it's not fun, like, why am I doing it?
Yeah.
I had the same thought the other week.
We're the same person at the end of the day.
The day that I stop enjoying this game is the day that I'm done. I'll play for fun from now time to time, but I think it's who we are as who we are as people. Like I'm always a fun guy. I always like to do stuff. I have a good character with myself, and I think there's, like Teddy said, there's times where you put the phone away and you zone in, and there's times you just gotta have some fun and go out there and look. I mean, look at this stuff. I thought we were both productive this morning. Yeah, but we're also having a great time.
It's the best time.
It's just with each other, just grinding and joking around, and then we had a good little wedge. It's just having fun with the game is the biggest thing.
Some people, it might look like we're not professional or we don't take it serious, but like at the end of the day, who gives a damn what the other person thinks?
Yeah,
like, you got to, like, there's so many opinions about everybody. Yeah. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
you got to have your circle of people and believe them. That's the opinion that matters. Everybody else, I couldn't care less. And I used to care. Yeah. Now I got 6-7 people that I really trust and care what they say and what they think is best for me, and everybody else can just F off it, to be honest.
Well, I think that's growth too, right? I see it so often. Guys go out, they get their tour card, all of a sudden that team around them that helped them get there, they deviate from it because, they want to be what they think, the best players in the world are. And I hope I've seen it with the two of you. You guys only lean into more as to what makes you who you are, and that's refreshing, right? Yeah. Even this morning, junior golfers coming up to you guys, introducing themselves. You guys weren't standoffish. You offered advice. You were there. You even let one of your former students participate in the short game challenge. I hope as you guys grow, and I truly believe both of you can not just be great professional golfers, but you can be household names. I just employ both of you as you grow, continue to be the amazing people that you are. Because when people remember Aaron Jarvis, I don't think they remember your golf swing. I think they remember that shot on 12 at Augusta, and they see you putting the hands up and going crazy, right? Or Teddy, I think they remember seeing you grow as a human being, right? From that kid we knew in junior golf to the guy now that really cares about his team. Not that you didn't when you were younger, but you've grown as to someone that really values relationships.
Yeah, relationships for me are number one in golf. I
was about to speak about that too.
I mean, there's so many opinions. Again, this guy does that. You should try. I don't care. For me, it's the relationship we have is a relationship I want to have with a coach. You'll tell me some things that a coach technically shouldn't say. I'll tell you some things a student that coach shouldn't say. But at the end of the day, it works. That's just me. Yeah. I mean, if we had a hot mic at some of our practice sessions, I think they wouldn't allow us.
Should have heard us this morning.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what it's about too. That's what I value for you guys. We talked about golf this morning and golf swing, how to create more vertical force or frontal force and
Yeah.
all these important things. But we also talked about life and,
Yeah.
your guys' relationships outside of golf, your guys' relationships with yourself. Those are so important. So
Yeah.
not that you can ever go back and redo it, but if you guys could go back to when you were 15 or 16, do you think there's something that you could change to accelerate this process? Or do you think there's something that you're like, oh no, just by grace of divine intervention, I did that and that's what allowed me to get where I am? Is there something you have to change, or is something that you did that makes you where you are today?
For me,
Good question.
I'd say
Jeez.
the biggest difference was 15-year-old me. If you gave me a task or whoever gave me some task, I would first think, all right, is it going to look stupid? Is it not going to look stupid? And like, I'll give you an example now. My mental coach, Anne Marie, she gave me, what was it? It's like third away through the season. She was like, all right, let's like develop your brain and like your coordination with your left, right hand. So literally from then I bought cursive, like tracing books for kids with like the pen to learn how to write cursive. And I would just do that for 10, 15 minutes every night in my hotel room.
Amazing.
Literally
Wow.
for books for first, second, third, fourth, fifth graders.
Yeah.
And just like letter by letter learn how to write cursive just to like develop the brain, like a little hand-eye coordination, something different. Like,
And you switched off too, right?
yeah, I'm completely don't care about golf those 15 whatever minutes it is and
Yeah.
just do it. I mean, some people think it might be crazy, but it's like those little things where if you told me to do that when I was 15, I'd look at you and be like, I'm not 5 years old. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Now I'm 25, almost 26. I'm like, all right, it could help me with golf. Why not?
Yeah, I think that's cool to see you saying about the tasks and how at 15 you would have been like, why? Now you're leaning into it, right? And we talked in the last one about the task from the summer of the U.S. Junior, or even the
Yeah.
task before that second round in the U.S. Junior. Like, there are certain things that you really have leaned into, and I think it is that you like practice to be difficult. You like to be stimulated. And it doesn't mean that you're not swearing at me or getting
Yeah.
frustrated in practice, but the movement pattern's so good that you have to learn how to inoculate the stress response.
Yeah.
And I think over time we're seeing you evolve like that. What about for you, Aaron? Is there something that you would change or something that you would just shine more light on that allowed you to be where you are today?
I mean, I'm one of those guys that think like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
But I do think like, I wouldn't say when I was at the academy I would change anything because I was still just learning so much and I was so raw coming into the academy. But I wish throughout like more of college days I was more disciplined of doing the same stuff and not overthinking.
Yeah.
Like I had times where I just couldn't play golf in college, and then you go back to the old stuff that always tends to work, right? So that's
Yep.
probably the biggest thing I wish I did better at in college. I mean, those years went by so quick
Yeah.
at both schools. So yeah, probably just being more disciplined with kind of training and the way you are. But I think like throughout college, you meet so many people, and
Yeah.
sometimes you get carried off doing different things. So yeah. probably
Yeah, well, I
just that.
think those people that are fortunate to know you, or my family that's fortunate enough to have you staying in our house right now, like, you're not super organized, right? Like
Yeah.
your clothes are probably all over my living room right now. So don't change that. Don't try and become the guy that lines up his shirts in the same color.
Yeah.
But being disciplined with what you need to for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
But I would say to you guys, don't change who you are authentically, because that's what makes you special, right?
Right.
What about, you said you went through those periods in college where you didn't play that great. Both of you guys actually had a college experience where you transferred. Both of you guys had college experiences where you were heavily recruited, right? Or maybe both of you actually were under-recruited, in my opinion, for as good as you were as a junior golfer. So what about that college process, right? It's different than when you guys went through it, because now we're talking about guys getting bags of money to play. We're talking about roster limits, and every program seems to be in the SEC now. But what does that college process look like? I know I don't want to get into specifics
Good idea.
about programs and whatever, but what about for that junior golfer, or probably more importantly for that parent that's trying to navigate one of the biggest decisions of their kid's career? What would you guys, what advice we got for them?
For me, it's one, you got to get along with the coach or assistant.
Yeah.
That's number one thing. And then after that, I would look at, after you think the right fit, then you start looking at specifics like, all right, do they offer the academic degree I want? Is it a good enough school? Like, are they going to play good tournaments and whatnot? But I mean, I think the worst decision I made was actually I wanted to stay south.
Yep.
Because of weather. And honestly, I should have gone to the most northern school I got, like offer-wise. And yeah, I mean, lesson learned, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I think we're seeing someone like yourself that comes from a country where there's a built-in off-season to then not have had a built-in off-season in college. You got burnt out because your personality is, if the sun's out and the range is available or the golf course is available, you're going to practice.
Yeah.
And we've been strategic with that, right? Like this year, you're not necessarily basing yourself in Dubai to be grinding for 12 hours a day. You stayed in Slovakia longer, or you're here where we can monitor those ball counts. So yeah, I think I agree with you, Teddy. I think there's probably 99% of the kids being recruited or parents that think the best way to get better is to go to a southern state. And I will never publicly rank my top schools, but at one of the in my top 5 is definitely above the Mason-Dixon line on the men's side for sure.
Yeah.
But that's different, right? Certain personalities, you can't put this guy in the north. Like he'd be falling out of trees like the iguanas, right? So, I mean, what about for you, Aaron? What do you got for advice?
Jeez, I mean, I went through a tough period with the COVID, right?
Yeah.
I got very fortunate. I had, the few offers in Florida. Very fortunate with AJ at UNLV.
Yeah.
I had a great time out there. But even that, as I went from the most humid place on earth to the driest place in Vegas, and it's so hard as a kid. There's so many kids out there now trying to make it to the best school possible. But like I was saying earlier, there's so many underrated programs out there.
You agree.
But one of the biggest things I got lucky with was just who my coaches were at both schools, SMU and UNLV, and how they accepted me as a person. I was a crazy 18-year-old, just island boy going in the States. Like, it was different for them and it was different for me. And there was things I had to learn, but they accepted who I was. And
correct.
All the coaches I had, I mean, I got along well with every single one of them. But I think as a kid, you got to just, talk to as many coaches as you can and kind of find that spot that suits you as a person, not necessarily just your golf game. Because I know kids at some of the best schools and they don't like it. You want to go to a place where you're going to play as much as you can. And take the pride out of it. And if you have to go to a D1 that's not as highly ranked, who cares? You know how many pros are
D2 school?
You know how many pros went to shitty D1s and D2s that are on tour? Like, it's just how you develop through those years. And 100%. That's one thing that I struggled with, was just my development each step of the way of college, because I had my ups and downs. But transferring definitely gave me a new spark, even though I had my ups and downs at SMU too. But just the new environment, the people I met in Dallas, the relationships I built, teammates, and even my old teammates too in Vegas, that's one of the best things about college.
Yeah, I think both you guys have great relationships with whether it was the head coach or the assistant coaches at the programs that you guys were at. And even some relationships with programs where you didn't end up going, but they just got to know you as people, right?
Yeah,
and
you meet them all the time.
I think when I look at college golf, I guess my question to you guys is, how important is the conference or the strength of schedule versus your ability to be in that lineup?
Ooh, good question.
Obviously, for people that don't know, while you guys think of it, strength of schedule and conference probably has a big part if you're trying to get your Korn Ferry Tour card through PGA Tour U, right? Yeah. So if you look at Nick Gebelchek at UNF, that finished in the top 3 in PGA Tour U a few years ago. That was ridiculously impressive for the strength of schedule that UNF played, right?
Yeah.
But then you look at some programs that the players are good, but their strength of schedule is so good, they're kind of inside that top 20 and they can't ever fall out of it unless they lose their game.
I mean, this might sound wrong, but like back in 2018, if I look back at it, and if nothing has changed in college golf, which has, I would have never gone to college. Personally,
Yeah, good.
Never. But now with like the incentives there are, you got to be an idiot to not go to college.
Yeah.
You also get
You get a
free degree.
free education.
free
like, at the end of the
education.
day.
It's like you got to go, right?
But now with the incentives, like if you actually got goals like you want to make this your living, I think it's a no-brainer. And I mean, the experiences I had in college, like, I mean, the way we're treated at these top schools, like, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. Like it's you can't get any better.
It's crazy.
And you get used to some sort of standard, and then life hits you when you graduate. Be like, okay, this is a little different.
Yeah.
Then you actually realize how good it is.
So the cost of playing professional golf or chasing that to get status that you're going through right now, and you just played full season DP World Tour, and then you look at this college system that pays for you to travel, pays for your tournaments, pays for your equipment.
Yeah.
I agree you're crazy not to, but for some kids it doesn't work, right? And
No.
you in 2017, maybe there is a different decision, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think you're the golfer you are today if you didn't have the college experience.
It taught me so much about myself and everything. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Shout out to Bryce Waller for giving you the discipline and the structure and holding you accountable to those goals that you set. Because
that's why I also chose UCF when I transferred, was that I knew Bryce could handle my BS, especially when I was 19, 20, 21. Like, I knew that even if I said something out of line, he would either tell me to go do lunges or and just go from there. So that was also another big reason. Plus, it was close to you. That was probably the biggest reason, actually.
Yeah.
But,
well, I think what Bryce did for you is the same thing that AJ and Wilkerson did for you, right?
Yeah.
They let you be you.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to figure out what's right. You needed a little bit of a wake up.
I needed a guy to kick me in the butt
you needed
when I was listening.
You have some
That's what I
beliefs,
needed.
but this is the real world, and they leaned you into being more the vibe, right? Being the leader on the team that let guys realize that it doesn't have to be just black and white. It can be fun.
No, you gotta have fun. Like,
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
knew as soon as I transferred, like, and I went on my visit to SMU, Wilkins picked me up and like took me around campus and whatnot. And I could just tell his vibe.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can be myself. And I was like committed. Like the next day, I was like, and it's such a good location for me to get back. That's one of the biggest things with junior golfers. Like, where do you want to be? You want to be in the city? You want to be small town?
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the hardest things to pick a school.
Yeah.
Of, like, where do you want to be? Because you can get so bored of life if you're just not in a great place. It doesn't matter if it's hot or cold, but you can be in a cold place, but if it's good life in general, then you'll be all right. But, yeah, you got to be yourself out there for sure.
For sure. So sometimes we just have to get real. So I say let's get real, right? 2026, trying to win multiple times, trying to journal more, trying to have those habits, right? Trying to find status, trying to be more disciplined. But when life happens, what are you guys going to do to stay connected to those goals? Because it's easy for you to sit here and say, hey, I'm going to stay disciplined and I'm going to do the drills. And then you get home and life happens, right? Or for you.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? How do you guys stay consistent with that?
Well, I think for me, it starts with the team I have around me and like them being like, I want everybody on my team to like let me hear it if I'm not doing something right. Like I'm Eastern European. Like I grew up, like if you weren't going to listen, you get the belt out. Like, it's pretty simple. So I got no issue if somebody yelling at me, but like I need it. Like I realize that like I'm an asshole sometimes. Yeah. And like everybody knows me, like, but that's why I have the group I have around me. Like, I am just being honest, dude. Like I can be a pain in the ass. Like that's just true. But having people around you who can, one, deal with that, but also
give it back,
care about you enough to let you hear the truth.
Yeah.
Is I think the most important thing.
For sure. Yeah. I think one of my favorite Nick Saban quotes, right, is like, elite performers do not get along with mediocre performers.
No.
and mediocre performers are intimidated by elite performers. So if you have people inside of your team who want to just cruise along, then those people that want to strive for greatness are going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to ruin a culture, whether it's in, now you guys have these individual teams that you're building around for professional golf, but while you figure out that, I would encourage you to make sure that everybody matches the goals.
Yeah.
And you guys have to sit down and say, these are my goals, right? My goal for the two of you guys is, in the next 3 or 4 years, not trying to rush things, but, maybe my family's at one of your guys' weddings, because you don't get just so singular focused on golf.
Yeah.
And you become like this golf guy that life passes by, right? Like, let's not forget to
You got to have a balance.
have a beer once in a while.
got to.
And
Yeah.
get a girlfriend, for God's sakes, you two. You know what I mean? My goodness.
Yeah, you gotta find that balance in life. Like,
Yeah.
obviously we play golf serious and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you can't come off the golf course and then take it out on other people just how you play it. You gotta find a life, and just going back to like the goals and how to stay on target. It's like,
100%.
but you have your team and you stay with your team and keep things simple. For me, I like to, my brain wanders off. So that's probably going to be the hardest thing for me, is just zoning in and keep doing the same stuff over and over again, and just being consistent with it, getting in the gym more. But just like enjoying the process and knowing that it could take 3 to 4 years, because sometimes it takes time. Some of the best players take time, and obviously some players take 6 months. You might find that one of us could find a spark in a month, right? So you never know, but like just enjoying it all. Life goes by quick. I remember I was a freshman. Now I'm done with college already. So just trying to keep the relationships close and enjoy life, but still focus on the golf at the same time.
And actually enjoy, with DP, you get to travel the whole world. And I look back at last year, all I saw was the course, airport, and hotel.
Yeah.
I would be the first guy, one of the first guys on the range on Monday, practicing like an idiot 24/7, get to the hotel at 6, and okay, it's already Thursday, we're starting, and I'm like, God, I'm exhausted. Instead of playing 9, oh, we're in a nice town, let's go get some nice dinner, let's go see something.
Yeah.
I was everywhere and I saw nothing.
Well, hopefully for the people that are now going to become a fan of you, they see some pictures of you not in golf clothes.
Yeah.
They see some pictures of you not just traveling around the world with me, but maybe, someone that's enjoyable for you to have fun with out there, travel companion, right? I'm not saying go get, cuffed up right away or get tattoos on your body, but, I think you got to do what you got to do,
Yeah.
So for me, I think for you guys, I really hope someday you two guys are playing on the same tour together. We're out there, we're enjoying it, we're authentic to what we are. But because the podcast is called Earn Not Given, I just want to congratulate both of you guys on earning the success that you had. No one gave it to you. No one said to you, hey, here you go. You got free ticket to the Masters, free ticket to the 150th Open. You had to go and earn that. And then after that, you had to learn how to experience some hardship, right? Because
It was hard.
It was a big drop off after being on top of the world and walking the fairways with Bryson and Tiger and John Rahm and all those guys being what felt like your peers, to now feeling like, hey, how do I get back there? So I can't wait to see you back there. And Teddy, what you just said about enjoying being on tour, I really, really hope that, because you earned that tour card, and I think you also earned this opportunity to have to earn it back because of what it's going to do for you. So maybe you guys can tell us what that means to you. Like when you hear earned, not given, what does that mean, and how are you going to apply that in 2026?
Putting in the work. I mean, when you put in the work and
discipline with the work,
it just, you get like a sense of relief, and you're just like, I earned this shit.
Yeah.
And obviously finding that balance of life in golf, but it's just like, putting your head down and also having fun with it at the same time.
What about for you, Teddy? What does earned, not given mean to you?
I mean, to earn anything, you got to make crazy sacrifices, but finding what's right for you and sticking with it long enough is probably the most important thing. You never know when life's gonna like give you gold on a plate. Be like, oh, here's your DP card. Oh, you're gonna win this year, whatever. Like, you just gotta stay consistent. Like, if it's like you gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Love that.
You have to, like, if you want to earn it, you gotta like not care what other people think of you. You just gotta just zone in and just do it, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, let's zone in. Let's make 2026 a freaking great year, huh?
Yes, sir.
Privileged to be a part of it. Thanks for being a part of the first episode back, and we'll make a deal. When either of you achieve your goals this year, we bring you back on the podcast. We let you guys interview each other, or if you want, one hot take. If you guys want, camera's still rolling. If you got questions for each other, happy to let it take place now. We'll wait for that win.
Thanks, DP.
Yeah, you bet.
Appreciate
Enjoyed it, guys.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Not sure where Casey is, but we're
Casey!